day 31, and the theme for today that I want to explore is the idea of deep connection and community. And I want to go beyond the surface on this. When I was walking my daughter to school today, she had a little toy with her, and I had told her that she can't bring toys to school. And what she said back to me was, "Well, Dad, sometimes when I'm at school, I need to play by myself." And that kind of broke my heart a little bit, and it made me think more deeply of what community and connection means to all of us, and the importance and the role that it plays in our lives. And kind of as I was starting to explore this idea this morning, obviously I wanted to go beyond the surface, and I was thinking a little bit about what it is and what it means. I was on my phone doing a little bit of research, and an ad popped up from me, and it was a Facebook ad, and it said, "Find what you're looking for." And that made me really think of kind of where we're at with this idea of community, where we have social media all around us, where we feel that is the platform or the way in which we get connection with people that we're not necessarily in the same space with. And what it made me realize is that connection isn't necessarily what we think it is. And as I was sitting there with my daughter in that moment, it made me think that it has to be more about understanding, trust, presence, and attention, and being there for her in moments where someone or something needs you, and that can be yourself. I kind of put down here is the question of what is deep connection, and I put down a sense of understanding, trust, emotional resonance, presence, and attention between people, ideas, and experiences. And oftentimes we're so stuck in our own world, we don't think about how other people are doing. I know a lot of us are struggling in trying to make sense of ourselves and the world around us, and I think is that the solution to all of these problems are finding ways in which to come together and support each other through this. And these connections aren't necessarily just between people. They're between people, nature, creativity, ourselves, or the universe, which can be spiritual. And this is kind of the theme I'm going to sit with today, and thinking about ways in which to actively build a community or bring ways to bring people together. We need more of this, and in times when it feels overwhelming, where it's not necessarily the top of your priority list, in realizing that, kind of off of yesterday, why are the easy things so hard? And this is one of those things. Is when someone's having a tough go at it, is just being there and listening and just being. So I'm going to carry this into day 31, being in this space, and I'll report back at the end of today. All right, end of day 31, and today was a good day. Got all the tasks done that I was wanting to get done today, and was able to dig in a little bit deeper into this idea of deep connection and community. And something that I've been reading more about recently and kind of digging into the space of is the idea that we all carry an energy, and this energy is palpable. It can be felt, and it's super, super important to lean into the opportunities to connect with people in similar frequencies. And something about me spending time in this space and having conversations with people about this has really made me look at the bigger picture of things, and one, who I'm spending my time with, and two, also is kind of how I'm spending my time and understanding my time here. And as I dug into this topic, there were kind of three main areas that came to light as I started to investigate this further. And the areas that I dug into was the science of energy and connection, the power of finding your tribe, and then how vulnerability can be used as a gateway to true connection. And through this process of understanding, there were some key takeaways that I had in this topic and things that I want to carry forward as I kind of move forward, both in this project and in my life. Regarding the science of energy and connection, what came forward in that the research in this space is that we all carry resonance and frequencies, whether that's in our emotions and thoughts or beyond that. And when people's energies align, they resonate, creating a deep, unspoken connection. We've all had these moments with people that whether it's meeting them for the first time or the 50th time, you're able to connect with them at that deep level where you have a bigger understanding of that person that goes beyond the words that come out of their mouth. So maybe it's somebody that you haven't seen in 10 or 15 years, and that moment you get into the same room again with that person, it's like you were hanging out with them yesterday. And the same can be said when you walk into a room where somebody's frequency is not the same as yours. We all have had that experience too, where you don't click with somebody. There's something about a person that you don't quite resonate with, and you don't establish those deep connections with those people. When I was doing this research, studies showed that people that sync emotionally, their heartbeats and brainwaves align, reinforcing the idea that deep connections go beyond words. And I think this is an area in which we're, as a society, I don't feel like we're exploring this space as much as we need to. And this is definitely a space that I want to sit in. The other thing that came here is when you're able to align this, you mirror your neurons. So it allows us to feel others' emotions deeply, helping explain why we feel drawn to some people and repelled by others, which I kind of just touched on briefly. The second here is the idea of finding your tribe. And this has been something that I've been resonating with, or I guess spending time in this space of trying to understand more and find my tribe, because in situations where you do find your people, you're able to just, be the truest form of yourself. And I found in these situations when I was able to kind of surround myself with my tribe, that this is where the most growth happened inside for me, in understanding myself and the world around me. Ideas flow naturally and creativity thrives in this space. The second here is the role of nature and connection, and how nature shifts our energy, allowing us to find clarity on who we truly resonate with. I've always found moments of awareness have almost always been in situations where I've surrounded myself with nature. And this likely is something, because it's such a strong value for me, I'm able to get into that space quickly and understand the power of nature. For people that maybe don't have as many opportunities to go into nature, it might be a harder skill, or understanding the power that nature has. It might be harder for those people, but I truly believe that the more time we spend in nature, the more opportunities we have to really deepen these connections with ourselves and the world around us. The other here is in protecting our energy and understanding how being around the wrong frequencies can drain or misalign us, and why it's critical to be selective about who we let into our space. And how I've, up until this point of kind of digging into this, has always been like, my indicator for if I'm around the right circles is somebody that's either in the growth mindset or fear mindset. That's my quickest indicator of if I'm in the right space. That's kind of been my sweet spot. But now kind of understanding that when people carry the wrong frequencies, the impact that it has on you. The level of awareness here is pretty interesting. And then here the idea of kind of vulnerability as a gateway to true connection. And this has been a space that I've been in and playing in for the last little while, is really leveraging vulnerability and using it as your superpower in the work that you're doing. what I had written down here is the risk of surface level interactions. Many connections today are transactional or superficial. True resonance requires emotional honesty and depth. And this is kind of what I aim with in conversations that I have with people, is trying to get to that next level, because I truly do feel this is in situations where it's that surface level, how are you doing, what are you doing, but focusing on that second part. I kind of always leave these interactions depleted versus energized. When I'm able to get to that, having those deeper conversations with people, it truly lights me up and fills my tank. And that's kind of that space to lean into for me, at least, is in that focusing on those deeper connections and conversations. Not everybody's willing to go to those spaces of having those deeper conversations, and that for me is an indicator as well if that's time well spent. And the next thing I put here was authenticity attracts authenticity. When you show up for your true self, you naturally attract people who align with your frequency. And that's kind of one of the takeaways that I had from this. Now, kind of where I want to leave this video is practical ways to align with the right people. And it starts with listening to your intuition. Your gut and that intuition you have is a really great indicator to help us gauge energetic capabilities. And I think that's one to lean into, is you know in situations you're in, if it's somebody that you align with and want to spend more time with in growing. The second is observing patterns. The people who make you feel seen, heard, and energized are the ones you should move towards. And then the last is detachment from mismatched frequencies. Learning to let go of relationships that no longer align, not out of judgment, but out of self-respect and growth. And this is the hardest one I've found to navigate, is in situations where it's not right, but it's hard in these situations to say no or to push away from these interactions. So this was a good one today, and sitting in this space and lots of learnings. I think this is a space I need to spend more time in and understanding. I've just kind of scratched the surface here and see lots of opportunities in deepening the conversation around deep connection and community. So with that, I'm going to leave day 31 here. It was a different one, as usual, but I feel good about kind of the spending time in this space of understanding frequencies. So on to day, was this day 30? Oh man. Yeah, this is day 31. We're going to jump into day 32. See you tomorrow.